And joining us live right now to talk about vaccine development, testing, and safety guidelines is Professor Peter Pitts. He's a former associate commissioner at the Food and Drug Administration. So Pitts is also the founder of the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest. So Professor, we just heard about Dr. Fauci's comments about the vaccine. What's your take about that and the timeline?
Well, I think what's very encouraging is that there are a lot of companies and governments and academic institutions working together around the world to get a vaccine. So there are a lot of shots on goal. You know, whether or not there's a vaccine by the end of this year, I think is pretty aggressive. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that we'll probably see a vaccine in 10 months to a year. But having the repurposed therapeutics and new therapeutics coming online to treat people with COVID-19, especially those who are hospitalized, as Dr. Fauci said, is crucially important because as we open the economy, we want to make sure that we're protecting our citizens that are most at risk.
Will this bother you at all, being the fastest vaccine we've ever made?
Well, you know, vaccines take a long time. That's part one. So yes, it would be incredibly quick, but also manufacturing vaccines is very difficult, and certainly to the scale that we're going to need them, and also making sure that it gets to where it needs to be as quickly as possible. We're also going to need a strategy for prioritizing who gets vaccinated first, second, third, and so forth. So there's a lot yet to do.
Until a vaccine is ready to be used, how useful is testing, and are we testing enough people in enough places?
Well, there are two types of testing. You know, testing people to see whether or not they have COVID-19 right now is incredibly important because we want to make sure that people get treated aggressively as soon as possible. And then there's the test to see whether you've already had COVID-19, the antibody test. That's incredibly important because it seems that having had the disease is going to give those a certain degree of immunity. That's incredibly important, again, as we reopen the economy. And also it makes available those people to give blood transfusions to others to help them get through the disease, which is also another very promising treatment.
Now, we just reported a couple of moments ago about delays in processing tests, delays in getting results to people who've been waiting a whole lot longer than they expected, possibly infecting others if they are positive. Why is this happening?
Well, we need to get more tests out there. The tests need to be accurate, and most importantly, the results have to be gotten very quick. I mean, having tests out there that aren't high quality is actually deleterious to the public health, because the only thing worse than no data is bad data. You have the three Qs of testing: quality, quantity, and quickness. And I think that we're getting there. Again, it's we're learning as we're doing, but I think that we're pretty close to a victory here, and numbers through these testing is going to help us a lot. The data points are absolutely crucial.
President Trump this day called churches essential, urging them to reopen, pushing governors to allow in-person services everywhere. What's your advice about that?
I think that, you know, government sets guidelines. I think people need to make their decisions. Ultimately, you know, short of a vaccine, we're going to beat COVID-19 by being responsible. Social distancing, you know, enhanced personal hygiene, wearing masks. I think going to church is a personal choice. Personally, I think it's risky. And we're going to have to look at those people, our neighbors and friends, to do the right thing, because beating COVID-19 right now is only going to be as successful as our weakest link. And the more we congregate, whether in church or beaches or restaurants, the higher the risk. So it's a risk-benefit proposition that people are going to have to make for themselves. But it certainly is not risk-free. Okay,
parents are trying to decide on whether to send their children to summertime camps and summer school and summer sports leagues. What's your thought about that?
Again, you know, it depends what type of risk threshold a parent is willing to have. It seems that children come down with COVID-19 less, but they are spreaders. So we don't want children to get infected and go home and infect, you know, other adults. So again, you know, I don't think that sending a child to camp to make an adult summer more enjoyable is the right move. But then again, I think that's a personal choice that people have to make, and they have to make that choice responsibly with an understanding that their choice is going to impact not just their kids, but their whole neighborhood and community.
Mr. Pitts, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.